I want to begin this reflection with two questions. Question number one. Why were they bent on killing Jesus? Why did the Jews wanted Jesus dead? Question number two. How did the Jews intended to kill Jesus? In today's reflection, we are taking back to Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. And what did this Leviticus law say? If a man commits adultery with the wife of his neighbor, both the adulterer and the adulteress shall be put to death. This is the Leviticus law. And if you get a copy of the Sharia, it is exactly like that in the Sharia. So if you want to understand the Sharia, go and read Leviticus and maybe Numbers. Jesus Christ was teaching, normal teaching that he was doing. And they brought this woman who was caught in the act of adultery. Was the woman committing adultery with herself? No. She was not masturbating. If it is masturbation, it is not adultery. But what the law says is that both of them shall be put to death. Where is the man? Why did they not bring the man forward? This will tell you that in governance, when you are targeting somebody, you don't bother what happened to the others. Well, here, because Jesus was the target, they were quite nice that they didn't behave like Herod. Or they didn't intend to kill all the children just because Jesus was the target. Jesus has always been the target since Jesus was born. What do you think of a military head of state who, in order to kill just one soldier, has to plant a bomb in an aircraft? Just one soldier is a target, but they will crash a whole aircraft or helicopter to kill other people. What do you think of a leader who, in order to kill just one person, has to rob him every other person? Who is the father and mother of banditry in Nigeria? Why are people dying? Is it just because those on top, they love seeing people dying? Why did the late head of state, Sani Abacha, says that if insurgency lasts for 24 hours, what did you say? Okay, they say government is involved. Is government really involved? Now you talk cool. Please, before we go to the Bible, I want to take you a little bit to political philosophy. We have been hearing of, how many of you have heard the word Machiavelli? You've heard of Machiavelli? But the full name is Niccolo di Bernardo dei Machiavelli. He was an Italian an Italian diplomat. He was a writer, an author. He was a historian, he was a philosopher, and he lived during the Renaissance. And he wrote a book, The Prince. He wrote that book in 1513. But that book was not published until 1532. Why the delay in the publication? Because the book was dangerous. And what was the content of that book? Let me just summarize the theme of that book, the nexus, the apogee of that book. First, he said leaders should be feared rather than loved. That is, you should fear a leader, don't love a leader. I said, in order to avoid revolts, leaders should have the support of the people because it is difficult to take action without their support. Maybe I break it down. When you now see presidential aspirants fry Gary with local women, you see them carry plantain on their heads. You see them doing, so many things. They come down to the level. By the time you see them now receiving calls and making calls, they have an ambition so that they want to bring the people together, because the people has a lot to do in politics. And of course, in theological palace, voice populus, voice Dei. The voice of the people is the voice of God. But very often, the voice of the people in politics is the voice of the devil. Just like two people are out to drive an aircraft. One is a trained pilot, and they start campaigning. Well, all you need, vote for me. I will fly you to the normal altitude. You will have a smooth takeoff, and you will have a safe landing. Then the other person is a bourgeois. He has all the money, but he has no knowledge of piloting. He said, when you vote for me, I will give you a seat in the first class. You will sit on the business class. And I will give you palliatives when you land. They start clapping that this man be the correct guy. And they vote for him. Now, two people have been voted for, right? The man who knows the job is voted out. By the time the aircraft takes off, where are you going to land? Are you going to land anywhere? That is the kind of politics we have in our world. The kind of politics where the people will vote for a thief. Which among these two do you prefer? Barabbas or Jesus? And what did the people say? Machiavelli continued. He said, the prince, that is the leader, must remove every obstacle on his way. Anything that will make you not win election, remove it. And that is why you see that some politicians, they will tell you no permanent friends, no permanent enemy, but common what? Interest. But the truth again is that in politics, your best friend is the one that will ruin you. Who killed Man Mavasa? Do you still remember Man Mavasa? That was killed that was accused of coup plot. Who killed him? His best friend, his classmate right from primary school. Till the time he killed him. And the wife appealed to the killer, please remember the love we shared. Power, I don't know what is in power, that when you want power, your father and your mother matters no more. And of course, if you want to go to the other world to look for power, you can use anything, anybody. In fact, it doesn't matter. That's Machiavelli. But a big question before we go back to our Bible is, was Machiavelli proposing these principles because he wanted human destruction? No. Did you hear me? What did I say? Machiavelli has a problem. And that problem is called personality. It's a personality trait characterized by interpersonal manipulation. And it has to do with emotional imbalance and cognitive disorientation. This was the problem of Machiavelli. Today, what do leaders suffer from most in our world? They call it what? Huh? It is called blame transference syndrome. Can you say it? Blame transference syndrome. Blame transference syndrome is Father Cornelius has spoiled this microphone. Father Cornelius, why did you spoil this microphone? Not be Louis, use them last. Father Louis spoiled it. Father Louis, why did you spoil this microphone? Not be me, na Father Isara. You know that time he was here, he did something to this microphone. Father Isara, what happened? So I beg, make now leave me alone. Because these are leaders who don't accept guilt. And yet, according to Bishop Futishin, he said those who are on the street as mad people would have been healed just in the confessional box. Back to our gospel. They brought this woman to Jesus, right? The woman was not the target. Jesus was the target. If Jesus said, don't kill this woman. No, if Jesus said, kill this woman, he has committed adultery. Say, can you imagine? This is somebody who is preaching God of mercy and compassion. And if Jesus said, don't kill the woman, he is disobeying the law. So either way, they thought that was going to be an opportunity to kill Jesus. Now the second question is being answered. How did they intend to kill Jesus? So they have tried every other means. You see, silence is golden. Jesus is not saying a word. He asked them a very simple question. It is possible that among the people that brought this woman, the man who committed adultery with her was there. A police was accused of collecting money from a suspect. The same police who collected that money will ask the suspect, who did you give the money to? Because if the suspect say you are the one, Yawa Dogas. So Jesus Christ in wisdom raised up his head. He did the answer. He said, please let anyone here among you who have no sin be the first to cast a stone. And how did they leave the scene? They said starting from the eldest, because they were all adulterers, all of them. They were sinners too. Whenever we are in difficulty, we find ourselves singing this song. Alone with none body, my God, I journey on my way. What need I fear when thou art near, O God of night and day? The woman was alone with Jesus. In our moment of trials, when your father abandons you, when your mother abandons you, when your husband abandons you, when your wife abandons you, when the whole world abandons you, you are alone with God. The woman was what? Alone with God. And he said, neither do I condemn you. Agaya gboke, iba mi onu aki ame, oge na lu pa ko si me no ye mere. What does that mean? If they had the world to share the resources of the earth, nobody will remember me. Only God is the one that will remember me. Go and sin no more.